Now that we have seen the probabilistic lens of generative AI, let us actually see that how do diffusion models achieve their true purpose. And their true purpose is to find the underlying probability distribution. For now, we are sticking to images, right? The way diffusion models find this purpose is through a process of denoising. So, what it means is that, let me show you with an example. Let's say that we want to generate images of a panda or a bear, right? And these images live somewhere over here. That's the probability distribution where you have to sample images which look like a bear or a panda. The way diffusion models work is that they start out with noise. So they may start out at some random location in the probability distribution space. Let's say this is noise, and noise can live anywhere, right? So we start out from a random location, and then the whole goal is to traverse a path. The whole goal is to traverse a path which slowly leads me to this actual probability distribution, right? That is the process of denoising. What denoising essentially means is that you start from a random location which is noise, and that may live anywhere in the probability space, and you slowly move towards locations which start looking like a panda or a bear or whatever this animal is, right? That's the process of denoising. This is the path which is followed. So you might be thinking that, okay, this seems backward, right? Why do I have to start from noise? And what good will this do to me if I start from noise? Well, look at this video, right? Look at this video again for reference. If you start from noise, if you start from noise, you can essentially recover the true underlying die if if something is followed. Now, what is that something? How can I recover the actual image from my noise? Well, the idea is to, let's say, start with an image. The idea is always in the training, right? This looks like rocket science, but it's not if you look at what training a diffusion model actually means. In training, what we do is that we take a bunch of images which look like this bear or panda. Let's say we take a bunch of images which look like this, and we sequentially go on adding noise. We sequentially go on adding noise until it becomes fully noisy. This is exactly similar to the video which we saw. If you recall this video which we saw, what is done here is that we sequentially, very slowly, we stir this fluid and add noise. See, this is exactly what we do in training the diffusion model. In training of the diffusion model, we sequentially add noise. Let me scroll up. We sequentially add noise. Where had I written this? Hmm, where was our panda? Yeah, in training the diffusion process, we sequentially go on adding noise, right? So we start from the image and we go on adding noise. And then what we do is that at several intermediate steps here, let's say this is my noisy image, I will train a machine learning model to predict how much noise was added. To predict how much noise was added. Why am I doing this? Because if you take a noisy image and you subtract the noise from it, you will get a clean image. That's the whole idea. At several stages of this noising process, so the noising process actually looks something like this. If you think about it in the reverse way, at several stages of this noising process, so t equal to 1, t equal to 2, t equal to 3, t equal to 4, uh, we take this image out and we predict how much noise has been added to this image. So think about it this way, right? We keep on adding noise, but we predict at each step. We have a model which predicts how much noise has been added to each step. So we have to train an ML model which takes a noisy image as input and tries to predict the exact noise which was added to the original image to get to that step. So in our images, if you see, now what is done is that in noising, we actually go in the reverse way. In noising, we actually go in this way. This is the noising process. And then we sample noisy images at several locations and then we predict the noise. At each noising trajectory, if you have a model which predicts the noise, that helps me in denoising also, because in denoising I just need to subtract that noise, right, to get to the clean image. So let's say if you want to predict images which look like this panda bear, what's done in diffusion is that you take a huge amount of training data, you add noise to it, generate noisy images, right? You sample randomly from these noisy images and predict train an ML model to predict how much noise has been added. That helps you in the denoising process also, because if you know how much noise is added at each step, you can denoise it effectively. This only works if a small amount of noise has been added at every step. And that's again exactly linked to this video, because if you know about fluids, you will know that this process is only reversible if we stir this fluid very slowly. If you do this experiment at home and if you stir this fluid very fast and if you reverse it, it will not come back to its original position. So see how slowly we stir this. Similarly, small amount of noise needs to be added at each step if we want to recover the original image. So to give you a overview of the diffusion process, we have a forward diffusion which I called as noising, and we have a reverse diffusion. The prediction of the image or generation of new images actually takes place in the denoising. So another thing which I might write here is that generation, let me increase the font, generation of new images, generation of new images happens during denoising, and prediction of noise happens during noising. So this is also called as reverse diffusion denoising, and noising is also called as forward diffusion. So this same intuition which I explained can be looked at in a mathematical perspective, where you start with the clean image x naught, you go on adding noise to it in something which is called as a noising schedule, and you get a noisy image. And you have to train an ML model to predict the noise at any of these time step, right? So this is how the noise prediction model looks like. You randomly take a noisy image and then you train an ML model to predict this noise. And then if you subtract this noise from this random image, then you might get the original image. That's why reverse diffusion actually works in a very layman way. So again, to summarize, the way diffusion for images works is that we take a random image from our dataset and noise it. Okay, we feed this noised image into an ML model and predict the noise in the image. Right. This noise prediction model eventually sees many different combinations of denoising, because it sees many different combinations of noisy images and how to predict noise. So through this process, the model implicitly learns the reverse distribution over the entire data set. There is a mathematical theory towards this and a mathematical formulation which proves that if the added noise is less, the model can learn the reverse diffusion process to a very good extent. Uh, so, put another way, given an image noise to any given level, the model can predict how to reduce the noise. By doing this repeatedly, the model can transform any noise to a sample that lies in a high probability region. Look at this sentence. By doing this repeatedly, the model can transform any noise to a sample that lies in a high probability region. What this means is that the model can take any noise. Yeah, the model can take any noise and then go to a region of high probability. That's what happens in denoising if we train the ML model correctly. So, yeah, this is what I already explained to all of you. We start with noise and then we do the denoising process and then eventually reach an area of a higher probability distribution where the image actually lies. That's the beauty of diffusion process. So there are certain key characteristics of diffusion. So there are key characteristics of this diffusion process. What are these characteristics? Well, first we need a noising process. We need a noising process. Second, we need to predict the noise. What do I mean by noising process? We need to decide how a noise is added. So, for example, we can have a Gaussian process of adding noise. There are several different processes where you can add noise at different time steps to the given image. So, basically, this part of how you are going to sequentially add noise to an image is called as a noising schedule, which I am also calling as noising process. The second is predicting the noise. So, here we used an ML model, right? Here we use a machine learning model to predict this noise. And to make it more simpler, the machine learning model is actually UNet, which you don't need to worry about right now. But we use some machine learning model to predict the noise. And the third thing is we need to use a denoising process. We need to use a denoising process. Why do we need to use a denoising process? Well, we need to use a denoising process for generation of new images, because during denoising is where we start from noise and eventually move towards area of high probability distribution where images might lie, images of what we want to generate. And how do we do this? Well, because in the noising process we train using those same images which we want to generate. So these three are the key characteristics of a diffusion model. These are the key characteristics of a diffusion model which is used for generation. Now take a very closer look at these three characteristics, right? Diffusion for image generation evolved from these three characteristics. Images were generated using these three characteristics, and we had amazing pipelines such as stable diffusion, uh, which generated images. You can see the images generated by stable diffusion, right? They are pretty cool, and all of them were generated through this underlying phenomena. So let's see examples. Yeah. So all of them were generated through this underlying phenomena of these three steps, right? A noising schedule, a machine learning model, and then a denoising for generation. Things were pretty cool. Things were moving in a very uh, straightforward manner for image generation, and people were happy. There were big companies which came out, which made these awesome, incredible looking images using diffusion techniques. Now comes the question which every good researcher should ask. Uh, so that's the purpose of this course, right? I don't want to directly explain the concept to you. I want to take you through the journey. So if you look at these three characteristics, a natural question which might come to our mind is why can't, why should these three characteristics, why should these three characteristics only apply to images? So why not text? So diffusion model for generation has these characteristics. So when we look at generation, why are we only considering images? Why not text? What prevents these three characteristics from being applied to text also? Then started a whole new field of diffusion models for text generation, and we are just going to start looking at this field right now. I hope the motivation for getting into diffusion models for text generation is clear for you. Why should diffusion models only be restricted for image generation? If these three characteristics are satisfied for text, why can't I build a diffusion model for text generation? That's where the concept of language models for diffusion came into the picture. Let's start looking at them now.